is it? I was trying to remember Audra's intro, and my brain just went, no.
Good morrow and merry meet. My name is Audra. This is Emily, and you are in for a treat.
I can remember the in for the treat and good morrow, and I merry meet, but I couldn't remember good morrow. How could I forget good morrow? But welcome everyone. Hello, hi.
Well,
Satine's like, I know. Do I win a prize? Look, anybody that has. Yeah, I don't. But anybody that has,
I have a very deep belly button, but I can't give that to anyone. It looks like a bullet wound. Where did that come from? No one knows. I am extraordinarily tired. Please excuse me.
If you do not know, this is what you would call the last day of. I was gonna say the Friday, but the last day of a work week for Audra. So
yeah, this is my I would call it Saturday for Saturday.
Yeah, because you work 6 days of the week usually.
Yes.
That's why I was like, it's a Friday, but it's a Saturday.
Hey, Alex. I'm sorry, Emily. I got so excited.
No, you're good. You're all good. You have no apologies to make. We're doing these pop-up lives, and we can, if Audra has a day off and has the energy to do them, if I have the energy, all of that. So, we're a little ADHD, like, boop, 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 boop kind of modes these days. So
I like Saturday.
Welcome, Brandy. Yes.
I got a deep
Saturday. That was the random fact that Audra blessed us all with right when we started.
So, I mean, if you were there at our last live, my ability to mask is almost completely gone. So I feel like literally every thought I have, it has made it difficult to film because I have one coming out, DMB fans, but it's mostly me rambling for an hour saying the same thing. So I'm just going to do a lot of cuts of the makeup look and when I'm saying something different, because I swear I just was and anyways. Hi, Tia.
Yeah, welcome. Also, yes. So my name is, I like colorful makeup and colorful language, but also if you're new around here, if you like bitches with lots of opinions, colorful makeup, or cute fat babes in general, you should subscribe. Thank you, Satine.
You remember all the things. I had to do something as short as possible for my brain.
Oh, well, I mean, I would prefer, me. I'm always yeah, that would be great, except I'm terrible at actually thinking of the ideas. So, I also don't normally say them right next to each other. The colorful language is the warning at the beginning so that nobody can say shit to me ever about my language. They will. I know that, but they will.
That's what I do with my bow.
Yeah.
Audra at home is filmed in front of a live Pitbull audience.
And also,
I don't have to be quiet.
Yeah.
That's why I did. I added it all together. And then that way it's if you don't like cursing or dogs doing wild ass shit whenever they want, you in the wrong place. I warned you.
People have to be told, they have to be warned, because then I don't feel bad when somebody is you use so much. I'm I told you from the beginning. I learned that from dear friend Teresa, because even though people still say things to her, she's I'm weird. You should know that.
They really do. It's so weird that somebody will literally go and say something on her channel and will legitimately be oh, sorry. Oh, I am really super fussy. Anyways, I'm working on it. I'm trying to fix it, y'all. I'm sorry. It's not like this when I'm on my laptop.
And the internet is tricky.
Yeah, I'm having so many internet issues, and I am gonna see if I have energy mañana to call AT&T and get it fixed.
Also, Dahlia, you don't have to have an intro right away. I didn't have an intro right away.
A
viewer actually helped me come up with the colorful language, colorful makeup thing, because I would have never come up with that. Also, this is rosé, but it's beer. I thought it would taste less like beer, but it pretty much
it's beer.
Yeah, it's a Frisch beer. So I
If you
finally
want it to
trying
taste less like beer, you got to get a cider base.
And I think I thought I got a cider. I thought it was a rosé cider, but it's fine. It's not too bad. But the first sip, I was like, oh, that's still beer. Now I'm a little bit more used to it.
Yeah, Talia, besides, also, like, I've changed my intro multiple times.
Yeah,
I finally,
exactly.
like, this one I'm settling on because it's quick and I can, like, get into the video pretty quickly after I do it. But that whole thing, like, literally comes from me trying to ask Abby Williamson a question about a camera lens. Because Abby
By
has
the
all this
whole thing,
technical
you mean
knowledge.
good morrow, correct?
Yes, because
Because the
like I
rest of it
didn't
came from your
know
head.
what
You're
to
from your head,
say to
but
like
yeah.
start the conversation. So I was like, good morrow. And this is a written conversation. So the fact that even in writing, I was like, good morrow. Like that's what I settled on. So and I was like, I hope your day is well. Like just like the nerdiest ish.
I think the awkwardness will show, like, and this is, I say this out of love because I'm an awkward person. I watch people that are awkward all the time. Like, I think, yeah, I'm just like, it kind of happens. It kind of like, you figure it out, or your friends and your viewers and all of that figure it out. So, and like Audra saying, it evolves. Like whether it's your intro, your outro, your how you edit, graphics you include, music you include, like it's never static. It's always kind of like adjusting. Yeah. So, and I think the pressure of trying to figure out the right, not even the perfect, but the right thing can stop people from actually just doing the thing. So, that's also why I gently encourage, like, just go for it at first and then you'll figure it out in time.
Yeah. Like it takes some time, and I wanted something because I had a really long intro for a while, and I was like, I need something that's like short, sweet, to the point. It kind of gets things moving, and I can just start the video because I'm a long-winded ass bitch. It's fine.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to getting into a video, I realize that like people who've never seen me before, they show up, they're probably not going to make it through my minute and a half of like bullshit before I get to the thing. So I realized I had to like back off and just get into it. Kinky Sweat actually taught me that. Alicia of Kinky Sweat taught me about that. So look at, like, my nails are all gone.
I mean, I just, it's different, but like these nails are almost a month old because I just haven't had the time or the money to put towards getting them taken care of. I mean, they still look good, but like they're grown out and they're like okay.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Like I don't, because like the thing is like Hi Friends was already taken,
Yeah.
And I don't really like saying that. Like,
and that's why
some people my friends,
friends, strangers, internet. That's because I couldn't think of an intro besides Hi Friends, but I knew like it's not just Hannah, but Hannah does that. And then I was like, yeah, but I talk about all the time, like how many internet friends I have, how many like strangers I talk to on the internet. So like, I just kind of like stuck with the Hi Friends, Strangers, Internet.
I love that.
And then the other thing, like my little, like, if you like, I don't think of that as my intro. I think of that as like, everyone says like, you need to remind people to subscribe. And I kept trying to think of like a way to tell people that. And I always forget it. I always fucking forget it. Ends up at the tail end of my intro or whatever. But that's why that's there. But like, I would love something that's a little bit more streamlined that kind of covers like,
I like the way yours is.
But I know I'm a long-winded bitch. So like,
your intro, you're not. You only get long-winded after the intro's done.
I feel like I get long-winded in my intros, but that's also usually when I'm doing new makeup nonsense. Those intros, I'm like, oh, there's so much information. And like,
I am bad at giving the information. I'm like, yo, I am doing as much as I can. And also, like, to be fair, like, I'm also like, hi, I just came out of work and I'm like trying. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I think it's also usually because I'm the person that's like, if you want to be added to the community playlist, like, okay, fine, bother me. Don't bother Teresa, don't bother Audra, but bother me. But yeah, hey D, welcome. But as you can tell, we're just randomly talking about stuff. So obviously, if anyone has any questions or topics, like it's very chill tonight. But I wanted to mention that.
I will bring this up.
Yes, D. I like this one.
I have gotten like a little nervous because like we're starting to, you know, I mean, the pandemic is obviously still happening, but like meet and greets and things like this are going to take place. And I get so nervous about it because I don't think anybody wants to meet me, but like if I go to one of these, I have been told from the people that I have, you know, met from the internet that I am both taller and smaller than people think that I am. As I'm 5'8", but it looks taller.
Wait, Audra, it's 2021 and COVID is still running strong. I'm not even fucking bothering stressing about meet and greets. I have so much stress about everything else. I stress about it.
And it's not even just a meet and greet. It's like, what if I'm at the store? And so it's like, is that Audra home? Not like with that same look on their face, because like only I would look like that. But anyways, and then
true.
And then they'd be like,
I don't even want to approach the meet and greet stress, if I'm being honest. I was like, no, we're not. But
like the way that I laugh is like, you would know. I was laughing my ass off today because my mom, I'm so sorry. I'm like dying because I'm remembering it. My mom and I went for dinner before I came here. All right. I'm also like 2 margaritas in, but like we went for dinner and there's these birds, like just some regular brown birds, like, but like, you know, the ones that look like dinosaurs and they got spindly feet and like really raptory eyes. And they're like, man, and my mom they gave us a Mexican restaurant. My mom's just like, just fucking throwing chips at the birds. She's like, she threw one and she was like, oh, there he goes. And I was like, Mom. And then she flings another. I'm like, Mom. And she's like, what? I had to give a piece to the other bird. There's 2 of them.
Okay.
The other bird took his. I'm like, Mama, these birds are going to follow you home. Like,
okay, but excuse me. You and your mother are very similar people, because that is my reaction to Cheryl. Okay. You and the raccoon, a possum. I forgot which one it is. But like,
Cheryl is a good possum.
And the birds and the bird feeder. Okay.
So I might be like my mom. It's fine. But like, the teens I had two what are those things called? Margaritas. But to be fair, I don't eat a lot of food. I ate a lot. Bine weirs. But yeah, so we were doing that. My mom's like, feed these birds. I'm just like, Mom, like she's just like flicking like little bits of chips at, as Feffy said, at these little tiny dinos. And like that's actually what I said, Feffy, which is why I brought it, because I was like, yeah, I like these kinds of birds because they're like, oh, we got left the dinosaurs. I mean, obviously there's crocodiles and like, you know, that, yeah, but like, you know, I don't see crocodiles just come up, and like I don't fling chips at crocodiles. Obviously, I have a bad feeling about if a crocodile was next to me while I was eating at a restaurant, we would have some serious concerns. It would be like a Sharknado here in Texas. Like, Also, one more random side note. I know now, like, so you know how they talk like mad smack about boomers who like back into parking spot. But the thing is, in Texas, there's a valid reason for backing into a parking spot here.
Wait, that's a thing people talk.
Oh yeah, it's a running joke. That like boomers are always backing into parking spots because it's like a show of skill. Like backing into a spot is like skillful. But in Texas, it makes sense, and here's why. There are there are cars, but there's a shit ton of large trucks and SUVs. And if you are driving by yourself, right, and you don't have a passenger, you have more room on the driver's side to get in and out of your vehicle if you back in, because like for every one car, there's 75 trucks, SUVs.
Yeah. I'm just always like, I don't bother myself with the talkings of people that drive. That's just that. Like, I'm like, if you have the skill to back in, I don't blame you, because it makes it easier to leave. And that's also why I wanted to say that, because you have the skill because of your work. So like, it's just,
I don't like backing in for the most part, but like I like it to go to work, because then I can just like pick off and go.
Yeah.
And be like, whing.
Yeah, it's just funny that people, I don't know. It's like, of all of the things to like make fun of people for, I'm like, what? Y'all need to get like, I don't know. Anyway,
I'm freaking people out about backing up. They're like, oh my god, oh my god, I should not own a car that goes in reverse. Damn.
Oh,
no. It can't be that bad.
I wish my camera's not showing great, but it's 3 shadows, but they're basically all multi-chromes. So it's Cleona, and I think it's gloaming on the inner corner, and then patina on the middle of the lid, and gargoyle on the outer. So it's like it's all blown out, but it's all a shimmer multi-chrome situation. So
yeah, I'm like all fuzzy, y'all. I don't know why.
Don't apologize. I'm just glad you're here. Also, speaking of
I don't know what like
faves, hey Yolanda.
I literally would have to like just bring my laptop in here to like not have it look like that, because it's weird. Because what's weird is like when I Twitch stream, it doesn't look like that at all.
Yeah.
So, but what you got?
Tia had questions. So we haven't been streaming regularly over the months. You haven't missed a lot. We did stream last week and this week. Bo is obviously still being Bo.
I don't know what he's doing.
He just wants attention because you're home, but you have the audacity to not be just spending all the time with him.
Yeah, I just hear him playing with something. It's probably his like bone that I got him forever ago. It's a Nyla bone, so
cool.
It's a kind of like basically it's like a forever bone.
I was gonna say, I was like, is it one of those like super strong, like forever? We've been doing movie nights. So speaking of Angie, Angie, this is a great question. Yolanda, have you recovered from Saturday night's movie nights?
Are you ready for this week, Yolanda? You ready for Bloodfest?
Oh goodness!
I swear it's funny.
Funny doesn't mean it's not scary, Audra.
It's funny.
It does not negate scary.
Yes, it does.
Not to anyone outside of you. Okay, not to me and not to Yolanda, is what I really want to say. Also, if talking to the mic was a little intense for y'all, just let me know. It's just it's my when I'm feeling intense. Oh, yeah.
Sharon, Bloodfest is not horror. It's a horror comedy. It's a horror. It's a
but you're forgetting the words. The word horror is still in that. Comedy horror.
I have a really good one for Valentine's that we're gonna watch.
I'm just gonna roast you constantly because I watch scary movies because of Audra, but also I understand other people being like, no, I can't do that, not going to. Exactly.
Teens, that is Bo playing with his toys. Why can I hear a rubber ducky? That is Bo playing with his toys. He is, that one is in fact his Triceratops. He loves it. I need to get him some more toys and whatnot here soon, because like winter is coming, and I like to bequeath him with a lot of Christmas presents. So I'm looking forward to doing that and just be like, here you go, big baby bear, you get all the toys. I squeeze him. Like, does anybody squeeze their animals just like a little too hard because you love them? You're like, I love you so much. And then their eyes get like, at first they're like, yay. And then you squeeze a little too hard. They're like, you know what I'm talking about? Where their eyes kind of go like, bitch. And you're like, I'm sorry. It was too much love. I apologize for over loving you.
Also, Shannon, I'm too scared to work in a space where I do not face oncoming traffic. Scary movies equals diapers for Shannon.
But like, I swear it's fun. I swear.
I want to socialize and have to suffer through mass murder to do it. Well, you, Miss Yolanda, are the reason why I watched a TV show that had a lot of mass murder in it at the end. And I'm not going to say the title of the show because that might spoil the whole show.
Yolanda is one to talk anyway. Also, if y'all haven't seen Yolanda's latest video, I did enjoy that.
Oh, I have to watch. I'm behind on my YouTube. I've been like just
I'm always behind on YouTube
on my watching this week. And from last week too. So yeah. I'm
seeing if like that maybe kind of fix something, but like no, it just froze everything. So it's great.
Oh,
it doesn't get better.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I have something that I just like. I'm not going to do an entire video on this because so I got pissed off because of a photo showed up of like Ronda Rousey, like after she's had her baby.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And I need celebrities to stop doing this. We need to get past. We need to be freed from the shackles of celebrities being like, I just had a baby 3 days ago and already my stomach is mostly flat and I have 3 abs. We need to get like past that. That needs to like just fiery like an inferno, because I thought we were past this. And then
you mean fitness culture and diet culture and capitalism smashed into one massive fuck fest? No, we're not
even just that. Like that. And this idea that when you grow an entire alien inside of your body who feeds off of you and takes all of your nutrients, and then you shove it through your body and split things and stretch things, break them and tear them. Can we please get past the idea that after you do that, within like 6 weeks, you're supposed to be bounce back perfect? I'm tired of it. Like, I don't even have kids. I have no desire to have children, but I see the effect it has had on our culture of women and femmes who had children. And it really bothers me, the amount of women who start feeling like they're less than because, you know, they're not already halfway to whatever they were before they got pregnant 3 weeks after they popped this baby out. I'm like, sweetheart, I need you to listen to me, and I need you to listen as closely as you can. You do not have a personal trainer. You don't have a chef. You don't have a dietitian. You don't have a fucking nanny. You don't have anybody you can hand that child off to and then just have all these things work for you. Chill out.
You didn't have those before you had the baby. Also, you don't have a fucking photo and video editor, because I fucking refuse to believe that those photos are pure 100% just who they are post-baby. This is a thing I would put money on. Every person that has birthed a baby in any capacity probably feels some level of shame. Even people that are completely confident in their body, because this is a continual, repetitive theme that every person who you have a kid and you're supposed to be completely pulled together, you're supposed to, you know, you see them, even if they don't have a full face of makeup, they have like some perfected no makeup. You have really nice clothes on. You have all of these things. That is not the reality for most people that are consuming that media.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you don't even have clothes that fit perfectly right by the time, because I've heard that from moms too, where like the maternity clothes aren't really the right thing. And plus you're so over it and just don't want to have to wear those anymore. But the clothes you had that were not maternity clothes don't always fit the same.
And that's also true. I'm really fed up with this particular narrative, because like I get the fact that there's a whole section of plastic surgery called the mommy makeover just really, and again, get what you want to get done because it makes you happy. Do you? But I get very frustrated with this idea that the second you pop out that baby, you better look amazing, because it's unrealistic for normal people. And I use the term normal in that we are not celebrities. We don't have all the things that I mentioned before. And so, like, everyday regular
it's
people
anybody that's not rich, because you don't have to be a celebrity to be rich.
True.
I'm gonna say anyone that's not wealthy.
Yeah. But it's just like, it's very frustrating because I swear that, like, sometimes there's part of that depression that comes from not having this magical snapback that you continuously see celebrities do, and you also see it in television shows, and it is not good for people to, like, see that and think, because it's not good for both sides, right? It's not good for the person who had the baby, and it's not good for the person, your partner, because they are also seeing this image. So everybody has in this, like, in their mind's eye, this idea that, like, it's only a matter of weeks and then you're just perfect again. And that's not realistic for the majority of folks. And I don't like it, because I'm like, wow, we're really, like, this is what I say all the time, like, pop culture and, like, movies and television and all this stuff, whether you want it to or not, it does affect you.
You don't have control over that or not. And that's why
you see it all the time.
Yeah, even if you're actively you're not a fan of it. Here's the other part of it, is that the comment about, like, you don't have to birth a child to have those feelings. I completely agree with that. I think the other part of it is that for so many people, they already were in an insecure space about their body. They already had hatred towards their body before even ever thinking about having kids. And they never really, I don't feel like they worked through those feelings or worked on that part of themselves. And I feel like that's a huge part of it. It's like, if you're just forever living in this space of I'm not worthy enough, I'm this, I'm that, or like feeling like you're so X, Y, or Z thing when you're actually not. You don't have a partner that actually shows you love and appreciation regardless of what your body looks like. And then you start exactly, like, also, that's the other part of it, is that when you're having this child, you're like, oh, your body, you're so beautiful, look how the bump, and you're glowing, and, like, it's all romanticized. It's the body is so romanticized. And I feel like it's not even about the mother. It's not even about where they're at mentally. It's just about, like, the beauty of the pregnant body and the child that they're carrying. They don't actually care about the person.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you have that baby, that goes away. You're not talking about your beautiful, glorious body and how it's a gift from God, or all of these things that get said. And all of a sudden, it's all about the child. So many new moms don't have mental health support. They don't have realistic conversations before having children about post-traumatic or post-depression and the mental health repercussions of having children. And then you have the media portraying these perfect bounce back bodies. So not only are you now being neglected, all of the praise and stuff that you were getting specifically about your body, not just about you, about your body, now all of a sudden goes away. Thank you, postpartum. That's what it is. That all goes away. And now you're supposed to be working towards this new body. And the other thing that I think is, like, even a lot of the celebrities don't actually talk about that they had to do things to get that body, that bounce back body. It just happened. It just happened.
Well, like, the reality of it is just, like, people people don't get to choose. Like when you were talking about like, oh, the all the things that people say about your body, like while you're pregnant, and it's very like, oh, look at the glow and look at this and look at that. And I feel like I remember when this actually started, and this is going to take you back into the 90s. Because there was, and I understand where it came from. Now it like kind of it's now run amok. But at one point, like when you were pregnant, you kind of had to like wear a lot of oversized clothing and not really show that you were pregnant because it was gross. And then Demi Moore, who I refuse to call the other name because it's Demi. Eat a bag of dicks, girl. Like we're not churching up your name today. But Demi Moore posed on the cover of, I can't remember what magazine, but just like naked baby bump. And that was the beginning of like no longer shaming being pregnant, which I was and still am here for. We stopped shaming and start like she really came out and was like, what we're not going to do today, tomorrow, and the day after that is pretend that because I am pregnant, I am less attractive. What we're not going to do is pretend that because I'm pregnant, I can't be on the cover of magazines, that I'm not a whole person. I am still a human being. I am carrying another human being. That doesn't make me less than, which was awesome sauce, right? Amazing. I was really happy for that moment. However, it has taken like a weird turn, a weird left-right turn. And I don't think that it has been like everybody can wear whatever you want. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about the weird, like as Emily was saying, romanticizing the pregnant body to the point that like everyone loves you, everyone's feeding you, everyone's petting you, if that's the thing that you enjoy. And like then you have the child, and then everybody just expects you to be perfect afterwards. Like, oh, you really shouldn't be eating that. And you're like, excuse me? And you're like,
but I also think that I personally think there's this space of like, and maybe this is my perception of other people's pregnancies. I think there's this space of not the mom not even getting any attention, not any attention, but like I think there's this space of when their baby is first born where the attention zone's completely in on the child and not at all on the parent. So there's this like I would say anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months of just like, they're here, but there's like very, in my opinion, very little attention actually being placed on the mother, how they're doing, how they're recovering, how things are going. And then all of a sudden, then people start noticing the mom again. And then they're like, I can't believe you're still, I didn't expect
you look so tired.
Yeah, or like, oh, you're still wearing those sweatpants. We're going out to dinner. You're coming with us, right? It's like I just think that there is, I think the whole thing upsets me, and I even feel I feel like the whole Demi Moore thing. I feel like I understand the power in that moment, and I understand that it was important for that person in that moment, but I also feel like it continued to it perpetuated this feeling of that like women in particular should always be on and always be ready to look presentable. Whereas like
y'all are ruining my life.
And I feel like people should just be able to not have to be on and ready. And I feel like that moment, rather than it being a moment of power and of taking the space that like was taken from this person, which things can be two things at one time. Things both can be true. I think that happened, but I also think the repercussions on the rest of the world were just like gross, in my opinion. Yeah.
I'm looking at these horrible birth things. Like, I'm so sorry. I don't mean it to sound the way. Good. I'm reading all of these varying comments about like birth and like this is just like like just hearing what people have to say, like throwing up all the time. Although I did go through a period of time where like I just like randomly vomited every morning for a while. I'll have to talk about that some other day, but it was bad. It's just like, I don't know. There was just something about like when I saw that photo, I was instantly upset. And it's like that for me all the time when I see things like this, because like I listen, I'm stuck firmly in the past when it comes to like entertainment. It's because like it's comforting. It makes me feel good. And then like that smacked me in the face. It's just like I was like, oh, Jennifer Lawrence is having a baby. Okay, is that her second baby or her first baby? I have no idea. I don't know, but.
Well, and the other part of it, and the reason why I mentioned fitness culture, is that I think that that's such a pervasive layer to it because of Ronda Rousey's background. I don't know if it's still a part of what she does or if it's all. I know she's been doing acting or I don't know, whatever. But like, I think that's another part of it, is that there's all of this pressure to have like, and this is true, I think, for a lot of different places of celebrity and wealth, that there's all this pressure of having this perfect body, whatever perfect is for your industry and what people are demanding of you. And it's just like, I think that, again, perpetuating that is pretty fucked up. And I'm sure that the whole situation gave this person a lot of money. I have a feeling that if they were doing a photo shoot and all of that, that this was a financial like incentive. But it's just frustrating and very toxic.
Send it to my email though. Don't.
Yeah,
I had to like shut down my Instagram.
I did read about that. Like, that's the thing, is that like, yeah, I do, Kim, I think you're right on. If everyone knew the truth of pregnancy and childbirth, we would have fewer babies. And I think that's why it gets romanticized.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it gets very like, like, especially thinking about postpartum depression and all of these different like layers to it. And I feel like you probably discover things about your partner that like you never knew. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in just say no camp. Like,
I say that because like I've watched 2 shows that are far more realistic about pregnancy and women. And not like, oh, it's glowy and it's beautiful. They really like, one of them's Working Moms and the other one's Sex Education. Yeah. And it's just like very like, at least at the very like they get to their like we're gassy. Pregnant women are gassy. We're going to fart a lot. Like it was just like, and I love that they included that because it's like, yeah, it's not like this magic dream world. And I think that that's the other thing, is like the whole time that you're pregnant, like everybody wants to feed you and tell you, oh, you're eating for 2. But then the second you pop that baby out, it's like, should you be having that? And you're like, you bitches were feeding me extra cupcakes like 3 weeks ago. And now.
But see, you haven't been around. I've been around toxic people that like, they do that feeding for 2 things, but only certain foods, only certain things. Like, I've even seen pregnant mothers get like shamed about the food that they're eating. Because it's like, yeah, I know you're eating for 2, but like, are you eating for 3? Like that kind of stuff. Oh. And so I
literally ate so much dinner that I looked at my mom and I was like patting my stomach and I was like, I'm due in 12 hours. You just got it.
I knew where you were coming. I knew where you were going. I was like, because yeah, like there's just so much about like, and somebody made a comment. Yeah, I know. I like that. Comments about like food intake in any capacity send me straight to rage. What?
Vision of You said C-sections aren't viewed as abdomen surgery.
No, they're not. The way that people that have to have C-sections or choose to have them or whatever are not, I feel like, properly.
I will say that from the limited research that I have done on C-sections, it is not chosen by most. It is just scheduled and assumed that that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And it's continuing to be a struggle with women who are like, I don't want a C-section, especially with their first child, because apparently if you have a C-section for your first child, it is more difficult for you to try for a natural birth the second time around. I know. Let's have our feelings.
Everything about like I'm sorry. Like I try really like I'm sorry for anybody that
I'm like, let's just.
y'all are amazing. I've never wanted that in my life. I've kind of been
No,
thankful
I could
that
never. I
pretty
have a
much
hard enough
knew
time.
I was like infertile at a young age. Like I knew my ovaries were all fucked up from a pretty young age. I don't know if that would actually
It's
make
like
me
when you're like, see, here's the thing, when you're like constipated and you're trying to like, I like that was hard enough. I can't not have
for me, there's just like layers and layers to it, or I'm just like, I don't want it. I don't want it. Like everything around it, like everything around it, like the physical, the societal expectations,
yeah. I mean, like I've been finding out that there, like, this is why there's been a rise in women pushing for natural birth, or people who have babies. Let me change it. There's been a rise in people who have people who have babies wanting to have a natural birth because, of course, it comes down to capitalism. There's more money in C-sections. And I'm not admonishing anyone for having one. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying realistically,
however
there's more money
is perfect. I'm just going to say that I have no judgment in terms of however,
but for the hospital
or going to give birth,
they get more money. It's a surgery.
Yeah.
And they use a lot of different drugs. It's the same reason that there's a lot of people who give birth who don't want drugs. They're trying to just like have an actual natural birth, which of course flies in the face of capitalism, because if you don't want any drugs, they can't charge you for the drugs that they give you to make it harder for you to have the baby. But like, obviously if you're in pain, take the drugs. But like,
I feel like, and this is something I kind of realized, I kind of noticed like over a decade ago because of somebody who I was working with that ended up doing this. I've noticed that doulas have become more popular because people want, maybe it's not more popular, but I feel like there's this rise in having somebody there that's an actual advocate for you and that's not going to let like the doctors take you in a direction you don't want, and then also giving you an opportunity to have a natural birth outside of a hospital. And I don't know how I feel completely about it, but I also have heard of like people that have doulas that also end up getting like having drugs as a part of it. Like, so I think I'm thankful. I think it's very slow moving, but I'm thankful that there's more options out there for people. But I also understand that financially those options might not be all that accessible because sometimes you just have to do what you have coverage for.
Yeah, because when I looked, because at one point when I was like, fine, I will, have a child for this person that I am married to, I was very adamant that I was, in fact, going to do like more of some indigenous tribes, which would have, I'm going to say tent because I don't know if like the right terminology at this point, but and it would be filled with the women of the tribe, and then the person who's giving birth would often walk, and everybody would walk with her and soothe her and keep her going. Because apparently, this is obviously no shame to anybody, but even they knew that you're not, we're not supposed to actually lay down. That makes it more difficult.
Well, I've always thought about that in terms of gravity. And I know there are muscles and barriers and things, but like, yeah.
Because we were all on our all fours once. And then we stood up. I still, to this day, I'm like, standing up was the worst thing we ever did. My back always hurts. But but that was like a thing. And they would all like walk. And then like, obviously there was someone who caught the baby and like all of these things. But the point was that there was like a large amount of support for the person who was giving birth. And everybody, you know, it like the men for the most part weren't there. But the women were all there and letting the person who was giving birth like yell and scream and, you know, breathe. And they were all there breathing with them and like making them feel comforted. And I feel like obviously a natural witch is going to say some shit like this, but I feel like we're so far removed from like the actual experience. We've gotten caught up in the capitalism aspect of having children. You know, what the gender reveal parties and the fucking
all the shit that goes, the parties, the showers. I just want to say, because you were like, of course the natural witch would say this. I think this is why we're friends. Because like, so I think it actually was it this year? Jesus. I think in like the spring. So I had my like my panini pod of my two close friends when I was still in Brooklyn. And one of the last times we had, like, we would do these like weekend sleepover things where we could spend a couple of days together. And the last time we had one of my good friends had just ended a relationship and like was discovering a lot about the relationship and abuse that was happening that kind of wasn't realized. We actually had a moment one of the nights where we had a crying pile. Like, if you saw Midsummer and you saw like women, and it was three of us, and it was powerful having like experiencing emotions together, kind of like in unity. Like, obviously we're three individual people, but having like my friend experiencing the deepest part of the emotion, but me and my other friend kind of like experiencing that with her and like riding through those emotions. Anyway, when you were describing that birthing experience, I'm like, yes. Like, because having just experienced that day with two people very near and dear to me, and like being able to be this protective, like, space for my friend, and really like it was so powerful. So
I mean, if you think about it and how like colonization has changed it to like men just like having a cigar, like not obviously today, but like men just sitting in the waiting room waiting for it to be over. That isn't how it was actually happening. There were separate things happening on the men's side that were not just like good thing that she's doing that. It was like other things, like him preparing and like getting the home together and all of these things, so that when she had the baby and she communed with all of the women and all of these wonderful things happened, then the home was ready. Like, he wasn't just like, I'm going to smoke a cigar with my buddies. I did good work. Like, it was a community thing. And like, that was why people would say that it takes a village because it did take a village to raise it. But, you know, obviously American exceptionalism and individualism has changed that. And so it's
said, it takes a village to birth a child.
It does. I love that. Yes. And so it was like, it was just one of those things where like the more research that I did, the more I was like, this is what I'd want to do. And, you know, at the time, the person I was married to was just like, well, what if, you know, you have complications? Like, I mean, obviously you go to the hospital, but
you have backup plans.
Like,
I've had acquaintances do like natural water births, like, and you have backup plans. You have a doctor.
Whether or not you like Penny Page, like, she's done that.
Yeah,
had like natural water births, I believe, for both of her children.
Yeah. Jayshi had an interesting question. How do you handle women who love and have kids to look down on other women who choose not to have kids? I don't handle them. I'm not friends with them.
I do not. Because here's the thing. I'm a womanist, not a feminist, because feminism does not include Black people. But here's the thing. when women are like that, they are still obviously, unfortunately, sucked into the patriarchal like identity and ideals of what women should be. They are still locked in this idea that the only way that you can be a woman is to have children. It is my belief and my opinion. You can get mad at me if you want, but it is my belief and my opinion that that is one of the reasons why so many women push so hard with in vitro and all of these things, because of that patriarchal like idea that an identity of a woman, that if you have children, you have to birth these kids, and that's the only way that you can have kids, and that's the only way that you can be a woman. And that idea is not good, obviously. I understand the biological need. I understand you feeling like I want to have my own flesh and blood. But at some point, like, my reality is this: adoption and in vitro cost the same fucking amount of money. One of them you can do, and then there's a guarantee. And then the other one, there's not. So,
exactly.
And I'm not saying like adoption may take longer for that care, but at the end of the road, all the paperwork signed, blah, 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 you have a baby.
I also feel some kind of way about listening to your body. And like, I know you have a similar feeling. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. It
would not, has not worked.
Like,
with
I
my
don't
body.
think like it would. So for me, I know for me, because that was a realization pretty young for me, it also kind of helped me if I had any attachment or thought to this specific kind of life. I kind of I was able to like, just like in teenage years, be like, well, that's not me, putting that aside. But like, I'm not mad about people choosing that. I just want people to have the opportunity to really think about if that is what they actually want. And I think it gets frustrating when people that constantly look down on those that have chosen or not chosen, biologically told not to have children.
I had both things. I didn't want.
Exactly.
My body said no. You know, and I don't think that people do not realize how often, and I hope that I don't, I'm talking from my experience. I became aware late in everything that I had lost several. When I was like doing my whole to-do with a lady business doctor, at least 4. So the thing is, my body's not trying to do that. It was just like, that's an absolute no. And that's kind of what I was getting at, where I was like, oh, I threw up every morning. I did not know that I was harboring an alien. And like, I did not know I was harboring an alien. And it just doesn't, sometimes it doesn't happen. And your body just does not want to do that. And I feel like the people who look down on those women don't even realize the actual harm that they're doing, because like, you can just choose, right? You can be like, I don't want to have kids. Fantastic. You can also choose that you don't want to have kids, and then also find out you can't. I had both those things. That's why I have a tattoo that says all is not lost, because I was like, I'm not less of a woman because I cannot produce a baby.
Yes.
I do not want to. I have endometriosis, like Mother of Four Cats say, I have endometriosis. It's, my body is just like not trying to do that. And at the time when I was married, I was like, well, we can adopt then. And, you know, they were all happy about it. But the way that they looked at me when I was like, because we were not both the same race. And I was like, I would want to get a mixed child because I don't want them to feel like they don't belong to either one of us, even though we're going to tell them that they're adopted, Abby. I just wanted them to be able to look and see, especially while they're young, like both of the things, right? That was important to me. I also didn't feel comfortable being a whole black ass woman with a white child. Listen, you can come for me all you want to, but I felt weird, you know? I felt weird. I was like, I'm in Texas. I'm in the fucking
There
South.
is no reason anybody should come for you for that reason, because there are
and I would feel awkward with
how that goes bad.
Yeah, I was like, that's gonna be weird. Plus, we were married. We know we were married. I was like, it's not gonna just be. It's not. Listen, this ain't gonna be like Christmas where you won't let me put on my black Santa. So, anyways, so the point was, I was just like, yeah, and the way that they looked at me, like I had lost my mind, and I was like, I think I want a divorce, but I'm not ready to say it yet. Yeah. So it just, you can't decide what being a woman is, just like we can't decide what being a man is. Yeah. We can't say that like being a man is being stoic and having no feelings and solving all of your problems through violence, because obviously that doesn't work for a lot of people. Yeah. Yes, like, Catherine.
I like, so when, like, my story is like when I was at the age where I was supposed to be having a period, hitting puberty, all that, it just didn't happen. And for a little while when I was in my teenage years, we would go to, I had a primary doctor. They tried a couple of different medicines like that were supposed to force, like, it's one that got popular later on that's like, have your period 4 times a year. What was built was like to force you to have, it was supposed to force me to have a period 4 times a year, just to like make sure I'm crude, to clean it out, basically. Yeah. But I've also been fat my whole life. And there was a point where we tried that medicine. I think it worked once, and then it didn't work again. We, like, for the whole year, we tried it, like, so 4 rounds, didn't work. And basically they were like, I look back at it and be like, well, you're fat, whatever, it's fine. Like, just drop the issue. Just drop the issue. Like, no actual explanation of like, well, maybe because you're PCOS, you're not whatever. So like, I've never had a period. So I'm like, obviously I'm not going to have kids if I've never had I had maybe 2 proper ones. But like, I have so many moments where I look back and I'm like, medical fat phobia paired with my family, just ignored so many things and then focused in on other things that didn't really need to. And so I'm like, yeah, I didn't want kids, but then when that also happened, I was like, okay, good. That's not going to ever be able to happen.
You go to the doctor while being fat, and I go while being black, and I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't want any drugs. I just want to know what's wrong with me, but never mind. Exactly. Feels like you think I want drugs. Okay, bye-bye.
Can I just no, okay.
Like, literally all the time. It's like, how much pain are you in? I'm like, I'm really not going to tell you, because whatever I say is going to result in you thinking that I'm trying to score drugs, and I actually don't like taking medication. So that's a situation. You know what? Yeah. I'm just going to leave this ER. I'm okay. I'll be all right. And this is why you have the large amount of Black women and femmes that are harmed just horribly by our medical system, because we're just like, okay. Yeah. Like, people having appendix bursts, women in general have a hard time, but like, you know, it's just your appendix bursts, having heart attacks, all of these things, strokes. You were literally there in the hospital telling them this problem, and then they just sent you home. Like, Erica, here's Tylenol, bye. And you're like,
yeah.
I feel like this is worse than that. I'm sorry. Like, what can we like end on like a upwards note, like a joyous? I don't want to be like an angry.
Thank y'all for like jumping
bitch.
right into this topic, because I know this was heavy. I know this.
I know I did it by accident. Like, it's not. I'm sorry.
No,
I got fur on my mic.
But thank y'all for just like sharing. You're so kind with how you shared, and even though it scared both of us in some capacity, yeah, like it's literally like you can go to the doctor with a severed arm, and they're like, you should just lose weight, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna carry my severed arm back home with me. Cool.
Plus, I mean, who wants to ride? Listen, I will wait for you to drive from. If I break my leg and my mom's like out of town, I will wait for you to fucking get to Texas so that you can drive me.
I will be calling an Uber to your house, and I will be like, Uber driver, I need to pay you X amount of dollars more. You're gonna go inside and drag my stubborn ass friend to the hospital. Please and thank you.
Because like that is honestly going to be like the next evolution. You heard it here first, folks. The next evolution of Uber and Lyft is going to be like an ambulance ride. We don't want your drugs. We don't want anything. We just want to ride to the hospital.
I have the name. Uber 911.
Uber 911.
There's Uber. There's Uber Eats, and now there's Uber.
It is Uber 911. Do you need a ride to the hospital? Are you tired of paying?
I will. The amount of times where it's like, calling an ambulance. No, we're never calling an ambulance. Okay, that's the like.
Listen, I'm not about the Danessa, but if you want to know how much of a clown that I am, every day since New Makeup Nonsense, since I filmed it, I have been checking for that Glaminatrix silent.
See, I don't trust that one because it's a fucking digital mock-up. It's not the actual palette. The Danessa palette will be mine.
I've been checking for it. Like, are you available now?
Wait, can I have to say this petty thing because I didn't talk about it in New Makeup Nonsense. From seeing their past releases, it's a Christmas themed palette. You're probably gonna get it in like February.
That's true, but
they just did a pre-order for a palette like this week that's literally getting mailed in February.
I still haven't gotten its freaking beds.
Neither have I. Yeah. No, I'm for the Danessa palette, but I'm a total clown. So, you know.
All right.
Yeah, the Australian shipping is also like why it's the cost and the time.
Oh, yes, I didn't have a problem.
Oh, well,
they shipped like really damn fast and not particularly expensive.
You were really lucky because I know like a dozen people that have had not good experiences.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry with the tongue motion.
Personal experience with that, so that's me just.
Oh no, not Squid Games. I'm probably gonna have I have a whole video about Squid Games that's like kind of coming together, but it's not like exactly Squid Games. We'll talk about it.
I mean,
if
Squid
I can get
Games
it together.
is just Hunger Games in 2021.
Exactly. You'll see.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go to sleep.
On that note, depending on how things go, we might be back next week. We'll see how it goes. But thank you.
So far, I'm scheduled off, I think, but we'll see.
Yay! And thank you so much for spending time with us. And I'm gonna say the thing because I actually remembered it. Don't forget to take care of yourself better today than you did yesterday, because you are worth it. Bye, everyone.
That was really weird. I apologize. Just hit the button, Emily.